Today's guest traded in the Big Brother house for the wrestling world. Please welcome Holly Meowy.
I'm Kitty, and I put the purr in perfect.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Mike Grand Show, and today's special guest is Holly Meowy. Hey Holly, how are you?
I'm absolutely catastic.
Thank you for joining us today.
And this is my little adoptable rescue Barbara, aka
Oh my God.
Barbie.
Barbara is so cute.
Isn't she? She's really cute. She's 7 months old and she's for adoption, so
She's so cute. We know that you love cats. That's why you played Kitty on Wow, Women of Wrestling.
Yes.
Can you tell us how you got cast in that?
Yes, I can. So there is an actor's website called LA Casting out here in Los Angeles, and I came across an ad they wanted like some charismatic kind of showgirl type of people, which me, I'm very charismatic and a showgirl type of person. So they had a big casting call, and it was downtown at a giant hotel downtown. And when I went to the casting call, I walked in and there was a bunch of wrestling rings, and I was like, what is this? I don't know about this. So I kind of actually turned around and was like sneaking out of the venue, and the doors opened to the elevator, and there was this man named David McLean in the elevator. And he goes, "Where are you going?" And I'm like, I think I'm at the wrong place. I don't think this is for me. He goes, "Oh no, you're gonna try out. We don't have anybody like you." And I'm like, okay. So I tried out, and they said I was a natural kind of funny comedic wrestler, and I needed to train and all that great stuff. And I actually knew Lana. My lady. I actually knew Lana, and she really wanted me to be a part of like a team with her. So she was like, please, I need a new assistant. And so that's kind of how I got with Lana and everything.
That's awesome. So how did your character of Kitty become developed?
So everybody was getting their own characters. They were, one girl was like a equestrian at the time. She never made it because she broke her arm and stuff. One girl was they had just different like bully busters, and they had, the caged heat was the jailbirds, and they all had different, from prior. So a lot of the girls from the old Glow, they brought those characters back for the new Wow. So they just recasted the same characters. But for me, I wanted something that fit my persona, and I'm being in cat rescue and everything. I thought it would be cool to have a character that could also, speak for my rescue and be an advocate for my cat world that I'm involved with my rescue. So I thought it would be perfect to be Kitty, bad Kitty. I was a heel, so bad Kitty.
Yes, so you were one of many personal assistants for Miss Lana Starr.
Apparently I was.
So how is it like being
I'm her favorite.
Yeah, how is it like being Lana's personal assistant? Because she's tough to work for.
Yeah, she was really bossy. is she gonna see this? I don't want to skip. I don't. She knows where I live. But yeah, so she was very demanding. My job tasks were always to make sure she was beautiful, well lit. You know, shopping, I had to carry her bags all the time. I had to make sure, you know, all of her interviews were in place, and, you know, that she always looked super gorgeous. And, you know, she kind of relied on me for a lot of that kind of stuff, you know.
Yep. Now,
it was tough. It wasn't easy, I'll tell you. Like, I had to be watching her, you know, 100% of the time to make sure her lighting was amazing. You know, that's hard work.
At the time, she was also WoW Women's Champion. So you got to go with her to the ring and accompany her. And there were some great matches that Lana had put up with that you were there ringside for. Her match against Jungle Girl, Spike. She also wrestled Sunshine. Can you tell us a little bit about some of those matches? What are some of your favorite memories of working on those matches with her?
Well, I'm glad I wasn't killed that time that Jungle Girl splashed me, and like it was hard because I was trying to be brave and I was trying to protect Lana and everything, and try to help her win the match. And Jungle Girl, you know, saw what I did, and then she was like not having it, and like, you know, gave me a spine buster for fun, I guess. I survived it. I actually gave her a black eye that day. So the whole you know, match where her and Jungle Girl, when that was happening, Jungle Girl splashed me, but I managed to knee her in the eye. So I gave her the black eye, and she looked way more injured than anybody. So you know, I feel it's important for Lana to have someone like me to cause havoc in the matches, and to, you know, have her back so that she looks good and gets away with things and wins. So win-win for both of us.
So the one unfortunate loss you had is that Lana fired you. What happened? How come no more TV?
So Lana fired me because I was starting to like look at other TV shows and things to be on, and she wanted me all to herself, which, you know, I just felt like I could broaden my horizons and do more things. And so she got very angry with me. We made up, but she got very angry with me and fired me. And I've been trying to get my job back for a long time now. So hopefully she'll see this and hire me as her assistant again, because I honestly think out of all my years I've been actually in the wrestling industry for over 9 years. So that's a long time. And I would say out of all my experiences with wrestling, I would say Kitty is my favorite character and Lana's my favorite boss. She was the boss of me, and I felt like we had really good chemistry, and we were always getting into trouble and having such a good time. You know, when she wasn't screaming at me, we were having a great time. And I just think that would be a Kitty comeback needs to happen.
Oh, definitely. I think that was a good plead right now, that you built a good case there to get rehired by Lana. So we'll make sure that Lana sees this.
Yeah, and I've been on unemployment for so long from WoW that, you know, I don't know how much longer this is going to be. So I mean.
And when you left WoW, you became the beautiful Brenda in Lucha Underground. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So, you know, once I became Beautiful Brenda was also another. I auditioned. I didn't just get that job because a lot of the writers were from Big Brother, and they actually didn't even realize that I was on that show because it was so long ago. And so I auditioned to be on Lucha Underground the same kind of way. It was a casting. My agent called me, said you probably would be perfect for this. It's another wrestling show, but you would be playing Brenda, a character that's similar to the woman that's in Little Shop of Horrors, which is like an old show. And so I had to watch it because I wasn't really sure what that was. So I had to watch it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can be that like over the top, you know, high pitched little bimbo. That's like me anyway. So I went into the audition, and there were all these other girls there, like 50 or something. There were so many other girls, and I came in a tight little red dress with a big flower, and they literally called me like a couple hours after I left and were like, oh, you're it. There's not all those, you're the one that we want. Like, so I was perfect for that. And so Lana Star didn't like that, or, you know, David didn't like it. So, yeah, so WoW let me go, but it was no hard feelings. I was playing a different character, Brenda. Brenda is not Kitty. They're completely different characters. I could do both. You know, I wasn't, you know, couldn't not do both, but, you know.
What was like your favorite match playing Brenda, or a favorite memory that you had?
My favorite memory playing Brenda would probably be, let me think. Well, there's been a lot of, I mean, okay, this is a funny memory. I don't know if it was my favorite because I was pied in the face, but there was a match where we Masquerita used to be part of our team. We were his managers, me and Famous B. You know, we were making him his money, and he literally stopped winning. He stopped winning, and we were like so fed up with him. So we fired him, and he left. And then he teamed up with Matt. He teamed up with Matt Lacrosse or something. And there was this huge, like, you know, match between Famous B and all these guys, and Masquerita comes in, and he beat up Famous B because he wanted to get him back for firing him. And so part of that was Masquerita pied me in the face, and it was and then everyone in the audience threw toilet paper at me. Toilet paper, of all things. You don't waste toilet paper.
That's not.
Yeah, they threw toilet paper at me, and that was kind of humiliating. So it was funny to watch it, but it was humiliating at the time. So that happened. That's my most memorable one. But probably like my favorite was, I wanted to see this actually go further. My romance with Texano. We didn't even get a chance to have a full-on romance. It was just kind of like this like flirty thing, and then we made out a couple times, and then like, you know, we never had like our closure in our relationship. So there was that. He couldn't come back the next season, so that's why that happened. So my storyline couldn't come back, unfortunately, for the final season. So that would have been cool to, you know. And then I wanted to see where me and Taya's relationship, because we were best friends, and I was her bridesmaid in her wedding, which was a super fun episode to be her bridesmaid, and that, you know, to have that havoc, you know, released on us. Like at her wedding, the whole wedding was destroyed by the doll. There was this like creepy voodoo doll, and it destroyed the wedding. But that, she turned into she was possessed and turned into a demon. And so her and I, you know, being that she was my friend and I was the maid of honor in her wedding, it would have been a cool storyline to see what would happen next with that situation, you know, with her being possessed, and who knows, she could have possessed me. Like, who knows where the story could have went, you know?
Yep.
So that was, you know, I was looking forward into it, you know, returning to venture out into those new character choices. Right, Barbara?
Barbara, how many kitties do you own?
So of my own kitties, I have about 6 of my own. But then I have a bunch of fosters too. So there's about 15. And then I have a place called the Cateau Marmont that I partner with, so I can keep a lot of fosters there. Some fosters are at my house, some fosters are at the Cateau. And then I have fosters in foster care. So between all of the foster people I have, the Cateau and me, I'm able to take on like about 20-ish kitties at a time. But I have to cap it, because if they don't get adopted, like some of my adults, I'm a no-kill, obviously, a nonprofit no-kill organization. The Cat Club is a nonprofit no-kill organization. I can't adopt new ones. I don't have my own facility where I could have like 50 cats or something, like Best Friends, or, somewhere with a giant facility. So I can't take in as much as I'd like to.
Yeah, well, what we'll do is at the end of this interview, I'll let you give out your contact info where people can adopt a kitty if they want to adopt and put it on the screen. So I'll make sure to get that from you at the end of this.
Okay.
You also mentioned too, you were on Big Brother. And it was back in the day where they had that theme song where it was almost like The Young and the Restless. It wasn't the hip theme song that they got going on now, if you remember.
So I kind of had a terrible experience on Big Brother. It was just a scary time in my life, being on that show. I was cast and didn't really know how to play the game. It was, I didn't know that backstabbing was like how you won, or not speaking and being a wallflower is also how you win. So I am definitely like a really outgoing, flamboyant person. So I'm not a wallflower, and I'm not good at backstabbing and talking smack behind people's back to the point, to try to win money, which is the whole aspect of the show. So when I went on, I was just like, I'm just gonna have a good time and meet people and be myself. And that's not really how the game works, necessarily. It's and so I ended up in a showmance, which was a nightmare. And there were another guy liked me on the show. So then it caused drama between them. And then their friend, Drew, that was in the house, thought I was causing drama between boys. And that's how I got evicted, was because he felt like I was the Helena Troy and causing drama between boys. This is what people call me, the Helena Troy. I've never even seen that movie, but that's what I was called. So because of the anxiety and the stress that show gave me, I really didn't watch the few after my season. I was on a couple other times, like I was hosting veto ceremonies. So I really liked the other cast members. Like, I love Beefcake Howie is my favorite, Kesar. I really loved some of the other people on the other seasons. Like, I wish I was with them. But maybe if I was with them, I would have been like, oh, I don't like them, I don't know, because I didn't like the people from my season because they were so mean to me. And I like Cowboy. He was really sweet, but a lot of them weren't very nice to me. So I kind of there was also
You should have just scratched them. You should have scratched them. Did the kitty scratch?
They deserve their eyes scratched out. Also, well, yeah, I wasn't a wrestler back then either. So maybe wrestling manager. So maybe like that whole thing that happened to me made me want to get more aggressive as a person and get involved in the wrestling industry. Like I felt like, I was so weak in the Big Brother house and in the way I was treated. I wanted to, I wanted to become something stronger, and joining in the wrestling world helped me feel like a stronger person. So it kind of like, I think, was a gateway into why I went into the wrestling industry also, and actually got the courage to do it, because it's scary. You get really hurt. I've had a concussion before, and wow, I had a concussion once, and there's been some injuries, but I was also going to be on All Stars. They wanted me on All Stars, but a camera guy who was a friend of mine told me, Holly, they're going to put you in the house with your ex-boyfriend because they want to see how that unravels. And I was like, nope, I'm not going to do it. So I backed out last minute because they were going to trick me. And I'm like, I'm not reliving that horrific part of my life. No thanks. So that's kind of like, my old stuff that ventured me into my wrestling stuff.
What would you say are maybe 3 things that people don't know about you that would be interesting, that they would find interesting?
Well, one of them is I love cats. No, they know that. I'm just pulling your tail. What they would find interesting about me? Well, I'm a burn survivor. I'm burned here on my arm. I fell into a fire pit. I slipped. It was raining, and I clipped my knee onto the side of a fire pit and fell in because of the rain. And I had to take a year off my life to recuperate from that. I had skin grafts all over myself, on my legs, and everything have to be pasted onto my arm. Now I'm part of this giant burn community of burn survivors, and there's people like, I am grateful that my face wasn't burned. Because of the wrestling, when I fell, I was able to protect my face when I fell, and my hair.
That's good.
Because I fall all the time. In wrestling, I'm always being thrown around or falling or that when this happened to me, my wrestling brain went in mode and I fell, and I protected my arm got the brunt of the injury, and my doctor told me I could have lost my arm in the fire. Wow. But because I protected myself, got up, ran, and jumped in a nearby swimming pool, I did not lose my arm. So that is something a lot of people don't know, that I don't really talk about that much, because it was a really traumatic thing that happened to me. And I'm starting to become okay now to wear clothes that show my skin. Like in Lucha, I had to tell, because they hired me before my burn, and my partner at the time, Marty the Moth, used to be my partner, and his name was Marty the Magnificent, and I was his magician's assistant instead of Beautiful Brenda. Well, I was still Beautiful Brenda, but I was an assistant to a magician rather than 423 Get Fame with Famous B. So my arm, they didn't know that my arm was really damaged, and I was really worried that they weren't going to want me back. But they hired me back, and after all my injuries, because Marty the Moth also, he cracked his head open, and he was in hiatus for a while because of this cracked head, and that was the same time that my arm thing happened. So we were both recovering from injuries, and they gave him a new character, Marty the Moth, and his partner was his sister, Meowy Posa. I call her Meowy Posa. Her name is Mary Posa. So she was his new partner. So where was there a place for me, And then DJ, one of the fantastic producer writers of Lucha Underground, came up with a new character for me, which was Famous Bee's assistant, Beautiful Brenda, which I thought was such a better character, so much more fun. But when they told me about this, I was like, oh my gosh, are they going to make me wear certain things? Are people going to see my burn? Like, what's going to happen? And I had a meeting with wardrobe, bless them, and they made all my outfits long sleeved. So I felt super comfortable being myself, being Brenda, because I didn't know if I'd feel comfortable being Brenda the way she was with my new injuries, like being so visible and you know, beautiful Brenda's supposed to be beautiful, and my burns, you know, people might not always think that they look beautiful. So I was very nervous about it, and I was able to get all my costumes long sleeve. But now I'm able to wear short sleeve thing. I'm more comfortable in my own skin now that I've had this burn since 2014. So yeah, but I tried to be positive and really work on my cat rescue during that time. I got more cats. I started working on, you know, rescuing more, doing more with my, you know, building up my rescue. And so it took my mind off of all of it. But yeah, wrestling wasn't done with me, so I got back into it right after my burn.
And then I heard a story. Is it true that you auditioned for Wheel of Fortune?
Yes, actually. Okay, so I auditioned for what's her name?
Vanna.
Vanna. I get Lana and Vanna mixed up. They're kind, you know. Vanna White was going to retire, and she decided not to, unfortunately, but she was gonna. And so they held a large casting to replace her. And I was like, oh my God, this would be perfect for me, because you don't need to know how to spell. First off, they light up those letters for you, and you just touch them and look cute and present. And that's like perfect for me, because spelling is not my cup of tea. Unfortunately, not my cup of tea at all. Anyway, so I almost was the Vanna. I did everything. I signed her autograph. I went to the office every day where she worked and was Vanna. Like I watched how she did things. I did all of the what's it called, like the fake games where they try it out on the public first, the pre-games. I was the Vanna for that. So I totally lived a whole summer being Vanna. For her to decide not to retire and come out with a Christmas album, and she's still doing it. Like, it's not like I got another opportunity the next year, or maybe like 4 years. She's still Vanna. And I'm just like waiting for her to retire still. And hoping I'll be remembered.
Maybe we can convince her to be a TV judge. Maybe take over for Judge Judy. We can have Judge Lana. That way we have the opening for you.
Oh my God, it would be amazing. I think she should be a judge on one of those like shows. She needs to retire and be a judge and let me take her spot like I was supposed to many years ago.
And what are you working on now? What projects are you doing now?
So right now, well, wrestling wise, I am I'm sorry, it makes me laugh. I'm one of the housewives of Slamtown on Impact Wrestling. So they do little skits on Impact Wrestling, and Kira Taya is one of my best girlfriends, and so she got a few of her wrestling girlfriends together, and we do this Housewives of Slamtown, and we we just basically are similar to the Housewives of Beverly Hills. You know, we have our issues, and you know, I am Holly Meowy on that, because you're supposed to play your real self. But it's funny because we have our Pomeranian. I have also a one-legged Pomeranian named Bunny, and she's got two Pomeranians. She just got a new one. She has Prince Presley and Bowie, and we, we get together with our Pomeranians. We drink tons of champagne, and if Lana hires me back, maybe I'll invite her to be one of the housewives of Slamtown with us. That would be great. Hint, hint, Lana. Yeah, so I've been doing that right now, and you can see that on Impact Wrestling. They're on the same channel as WoW, Women of Wrestling, so it's not too far from. If you're gonna watch WoW, you better watch Impact, right? So yeah, I've been doing that.
Okay, and then I have to ask, since we know that you're a kitty lover, what about puppies? What are your feelings towards puppies?
I have two puppies of my own. I have a senior Chihuahua named Pumpkin Patch that I've had I got her during Big Brother, so I've had her for a long time, and she's a doggy actress. She used to be on a lot of commercials, and she's been in movies and stuff, but now she's retired and living her senior life. And then I have a three-legged Pomeranian I rescued named Bunny Moon, and I rescued her during my burn time because she's missing the same arm as my burned arm. So I thought, I need to save this dog's life, and give her a good home because she's a little, burnt. She's a little survivor like me. We're both, I didn't lose my arm, but I'm helping an animal that did lose their arm in an accident. I don't know what happened. She's from the pound, so not really sure what happened to her, but you know me in rescue.
Yep. So why don't you let everybody know? Why don't you let everybody know where they can contact you in regards to your rescue?
So if you want to find me and follow my paw prints on social media, you can go to the LA Cat Club on Twitter, LA Cat Club on Instagram, LA Cat Club on Facebook, or Holly Meowy on Instagram, or Holly Meowy on Twitter, or Holly Meowy on Facebook. And if you want to fill out an application for adoption, I have them at thecatclub.org, and there's foster applications, adoption applications, and then there's also you can see what I've done and all the kitties that I have for adoption. You can check it all out on my website.
Thank you, and thank you so much for joining us today. So everybody, I hope you had a great time, and keep it right here for some more great interviews. We'll see you all soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye for meow.
Bye. Thank you.